up, guys? I welcome you to Public Opinion on Trending Matters. And today I bring you the hottest and trending gist in town. Yes, today we'll be discussing, should the youth depend on government for jobs? For me, it's a no. I don't know about you, but let's get the views of the public. Hello, final good afternoon. Final chum is Sandy. Final bone.
Show me Mr. Kwanzaa.
Okay, Mr. Kwanzaa, me ta won kabo egba sani fe ni bi ni ya no ye wo ma. Me ta ma be ake. Obla hin ko obla ye ne ba ni ji wo youth me ta ma be ake anesa ka ameka me hin afọ. Amala lo e no ake. Amala lo e ha me no chumo lo ake pin ya school ni. Ame fe ma ka me gbe na. No ko na cho national service kana ka ni bi ame fio. She be ane ake government payroll e full. Oh, minta ma bi ake anesa ake ameka me hin angme. Amala lo e no ake. Ai amala lo e ha me no chumolo.
Oh, imagine aji. Yes and no. Yes, it means okay. I say amlalo ni otano plans ni okuba back in you for eji. Oba need more technical school. More technical school. Bona fini ke you for gbe na ehien ni na nuchumo. No ni ken e ba save amlalo ye payroll no. Ona ni ke ogbena no for national service ogbena but then chonyo oni na nuchumo. Mason, carpenter, electrician, if you were able to establish more technical schools, Boamlalwe, oh, job, on a bonijon. You need to share your way. Keji may be out there, ni, I mean, Yatuni, what your local national small scale industry. Let me put it in this way. On an government there, what our loan BBB, no ketchia may say. Within about 2-3 years, I'm a pyramid. Come a pyramid for an issue. I mean, no, they will manage their business well. When I finish, you for a year, on I'm 100% I got from low energy. I'm not low by establish more technical school. Beni more by ye 18, ke anegbena a yen in an animumu. No, they can't call union in an animumu. Or after all government institution, no abamena. Odenche ochun ni chumo ko ke bon ke odira no ogbele oni chumo obaye mo ko me menyo ona bon o wa ma ona because of late no ko na ke can the population we have raised to 30 point something million ona e won amblaloe ke wu ajinami okay egbele more technical school that will limit the unemployment youth ona ni e won ke ju ba out there o yin ni na ni chumo ko gbena won no kuna chole small scale industry eta o shika ko ke function ke ete runs ni na ke o bonu chumo no ke ba e ko to electrician o establish electrician shop o ba chase if you koni o ke ile se o ma le small lonko ni eketu on that direction o ba na ke government e ba jole pay re no ona mo chon you only set advices or advice like o neke lo mani to mo chuchu be na fi o agriculture extension officer say na mi explain on me agriculture say that will be also established by the government. Ona boni join o fi oni yen ni my way ne ona fri ni amblalo e ajole ona ni ke ehia hun le oni e ke ni chumo ba bo youth we amena ni chumo ame beshka hun ya me kotokumi ni ko ha me loan no ha me ni chumo alo e be skills e wana ni chumo shika no hale e ba yi ne ba fi flow o keji will establish more technical schools. More. Let's say every region has about say 10 or minimum of within 5 to 10 technical school. One employs about let's say 1,000. Every region or let me put it in the example I'm giving. When a school employs 1,000 or between 500 and 1,000. At least 400 come out with their own skills. Then we are building up because the country need roads, it need harbor, it need lights, it need a lot of technical work within civil engineers, engineering. So if we're able to establish these schools, you are less busy. So no one in Amlaloe in is an FA OT. No one can from what you few work. But how and can come away or they watch on a near employer rule can be a face and they quite excuse me to say, it's very difficult for the government alone to do all these things. But if you the amblalwe, ona ni bo amblalwe, I'm sorry, I can miss you more. Keji bo amblalwe, ona o establish eneme. Bo den chi amblalwe hu, e ba establish another small scale industries. Ona, which will be man. Ona ma have example ko. Chuchue establish no kotomo giok. Onu egbe before about 10 or 15 industries together. Because we don't have the technical skills all was down. This time around, before you can establish that there, let them find out their technical skills. You are interested in sewing. This one is interested in electrician. This one is interested in mason. This one is interested in carpentry. You see? So if I lay down all these things, we will not suffer by 5 years ahead of us. This is my idea to put in.
Okay. Mo be ni oyele mi ka o ma bia ke mi ni jinga wo fi oko no yo ha obla yin e ko obla ni ji youth mi ni nga wo fi oko yo ha me ni ama me ka me ke amejomo fe efo amla lo eno aka o school pen ya into nke nta o ni na no chumo ko to be no yo ole ne se nice idea she mi ta no wo youth e nga fi oko e ha mi
Ona Wojo A before B. If I use the word if Amlalwe, if Amlalwe establish I don't think I can youth go back a ya tawni ni na chumo. Youth ne ya ne ba shelewi. Youth ne ya ne ba hwaso. Youth ne ya ne ba twon criminal. You are entitled to be punished because you are a normal human being. If the government has played its part very well, I don't think if I'm a youth, I will not go there and learn the skill. So I'm advising all the youth that any given time, the government has established all these things. You see, try to go. Now, at any given time, the government also has not established these schools. In your own small way, try to learn something from somebody's shop. You see, talk to your parents. Maybe they don't have, but here or there, talk to them. Go and learn from somebody's fitting shop, somebody technician shop, mechanic shop, carpentry shop. Go there. Maybe you are able to finish JHS. You can write ABCD. You know 2, 1, 2. You can make addition 2 plus 2. Try and go there. Because maybe your parents are not too good in capital. They don't have amebeshka. Oh, boy, modern on an ear. Koni boya. Then the government by establishing again only ABCD. Work both is close here. HL Valley. On our own chong. Or youth. The government established again. No, here no go fear boy modern. No boy apete. No chumo kasemoi. Attaching idol. No go. Me government. Me again. Pressure is on the government at the moment. If the government is able to establish the schools, you will go. If he hasn't, you will go somewhere and try to learn. That's my advice to the youth.
Oh, first of all, ingona wake obi mnegesan. Wa amla loe amani wolyo akeshi. Before dani amaba power wono amacho akawo fon shiki hame. Me atan sama ama promises come. Concerning what you tell or what do monaga show can mo fear me dromoni amena power ama amenya me chiwo second again chumo ji can be ne o ke e bala ke ngene chicha ne wo nukpa keno forata ke shi esa wo yin mo ameno am fair mistake you know you aga me fair mistake eji you tell p atafa cha me school wo nukpa won egbele efele free am me school e ko me kase ni bona fe wo se amechomo gbeme papa ha me wokume na makwa me ewo iyo akeshi esa wonukpa nye touch na ewi akeshi esa wo ko yen fo ame no wo ko yen ba fo ame no because no wo fo shiki ha me koni amo anya me wa ene me efe frustrations pia wo yute yani ameke amenye wo ni bi ko am nesa na me fio nini yom ye ko me ya ghetto ame shele wi ame kokodin e ko me ntodan e ko me feni bi nesa because chumo be ma am na machu ekomehu amembo ameda amefene ken saka wane police ehun amena kan egbe no chumo kokara be mam o be no afene ko survive no you take a survival shi nini ya no eyin wonupa esa na me yo amempe saka amani amegbamni jini promise time ha wo bia me ke amenta wo fon shiki na make wo saga nya me dun na me fira kan bi ha wo nupa anukwale mi tama kala she bomode ni amekwe ni mano ya le na me fini gba pa wo yute ko ni wonyo obon ni chumo gba pa jin ko ni wonyo ko family share
bla je to be ni o yue le ne mi ta oni wo youth nga fio ko keke ake ke amehie fo amla lu no po ake ameha menu chumo amelenche no na me ba fi na me ba survive ni je no ko fon alo ni ne mi ta wo amenga fio ko keke
yeah no kwale no ni make wo youth bia unje ake shi beni ma ya la mo amena shi amin Jamaica jewi ni bi pi ni as a youth ayochu ni je legal example tumolo le samo ekole nikpe ni bi pi ni wa anyo fi o asola akeshi ni mo o fe o youth wala ke jomo ni ke o cha o no pi papa jam ni wo je wo jomo ye ni bi fon jam ni ba pata wo yen wo se o min ka o youth akeshi ame vi ma ka bashi ame sole mo akeshi no fana me am ka me chuba wo efe no ko akpa bona fe ko ngo yaga fo amna no wo so ne ba ebo mu o be no ko kemo o makpa me youth junior ma me fageshi ame sole ni nchore nche a director me na me ya ko akpa ni e patara me ye wo se shi as time goes on ni ba check economy
Debi enye se ye fe ye ni ntu omusu
e den ti na wo ka asa
ye se ye na nkasa batan fo no ye yiri ya ho na ye hwe ye mmanum na daachi bi omo abeyad papa na omo anya adwuma papa ahwe wodi we ni tu obi sise obe bibia ma wa ontimi nye ne sa e ma onti iya nkasa ye yiri ya ho na ye mfanya adepa na ye mba no daachi bi edi omo mfaso
very kusho senya wo kan ye no pese en bi sa question e twa to kra senya wo kan no advice kakra be na wo ma omo de omo nu ato aban so so omo de o benye adwuma fi aban ho advice kakra be na wo ma omo senya wo kan
de mimi ba kan ni say sisi sana abraboneti no mo obi amfa na ni ntu obi su say obi be yesi ama na obi be yesi say yen na nkasa yen yiri ya hu na yen hwe ye dachi ni ye mba na ye wu omo no omo na ye dachi nti so wa amfa we ni hwe umba no say na wuti wase obi be ma odwuma de ebe du time na school kura wa anko bi mpo a toilet dwuma mpo unye binye ye de ya anko bi nti ye mpese yesu ye mba no betina fie sa epese omusu omumba ye bibi papa mai
ya shishi je mi le na kan bi dibi ne kan shi ja ko te school expectation no ji no ko gbina sa no wa na no ko tu on mention no New York no ji the government tell who can ne kwa technical school se ka vocational school se a ton no kwa local ko je ne kan jin ba anye iwabu on mention she expectation na kan dibi ne kan shi mo fia mo no wa ko plan din na sanwe ya o nin push on mention e ku me ni ko no ko mo sky shin omo no the time na by our school le na ma gbina ne kan ko ma set na kan ni hale o capital no here ko fio ko na ma set am in business sani sika no ba hin le ko no ko mo ka kra de nche 1.5 nko ka ko me ntu ni le ko interest ba no ba gbe de nche wa na ko no capital no sano ba anya na the sika no ba for business de nche sano ba na ko double a low triple the money on mention no ko set ne ko interest by here minika me mfe na kan mfe plantation farming da watermelon no kan watermelon de nche se mi de nche interest ba ni ma fe na kan farm expectation no ska ninka wo mi san mana na kan ska ba shi sometimes so ba fe ne ko ko mo ona me ni ba hi on mention o fe ni egbina sanu ba to me ni ba hi na kan ni no ko na me ni ba hi na kan ma ja ni ko mo ko ba watermelon actually 3 times. First one draft you second one drama last one le b no ka mo basko na bo mo pa de ba fe ni be ba bobo no one dp ya ni ka capital be le de no ko tumo ko de amo ko la hweti school la pa ko fee set and che wa hale no ka ba la ko expectation aka ni shi ni government ma fe ni ko ma bia akwa ni vocational school le ka atun ka push mo fi akwa wa push okay ne ka ji no to mi to fi ni ke abanya fe ni ko ka sto fi ko akwa ka bu mi se mi ka mu ne ka he han go han kam be anya ka fi awo me ka mo e share ko ne ka wala fi o me ne ba anya abo mo de ne kan ko no ta o idea fa okay ma Facebook ne ke nke hambu ni se me ka he yo de ba anya ba wa
Okay, near woman say, I buy any dear. Over to me the when you have to know, but I buy no crown to me. If you say, I buy a Jumano, Nipa kakre bi no mo to me fa. Ti me de ne ameme madwene yam ni say, ankranko nduma ankranko adwuma ye no. Enu mo ni bituma aboa yen youth na yaban. Ba ban de nipa kakre bi no fa. What dey say? Aha. Nti me ni aminim say bia say wako school ewie where we school ayo national service na sa ban ma wadwuma ya wankasa obetuma start de onsa ye bibi nkakra even kra say petty trade me na opese wo ya obetuma ye say apprenticeship nso na opese wo kosu adwuma obetuma ye baba ne nkwa de ye kase ye de ani to yan no so ya emwa yen
Bra Kwame mpese wuka bibi kitwa ekire omo a omo hu ni na to aban ni sise omo de se aban na mo omo juma omo de omo nye hwe like who advice mpacho mpese omo advice omo kakra mami.
Okay, me advice I made ma yen youth na yan ban say school de okwa eye school bi a we ka se wuko school enye ne ye school ye but wuko school wi a men fa wani nto aban ne nkwa so unya aban adwuma ya fine we nya aban adwuma ya wankasa try say wo de wonsa be yi bibi ana wo de wadwene be yi bibi na etuma boa wo ko wo de wadwene to aban so na aban feli upe ebe ma as a life now so etwe wo kwa echi nti se wo wi school na se wo nya aban adwuma ya wankasa try say wo de wonsa be yi bibi na boa because yetie me de me ntu kwa outside but yen crop e wo outside no omo no di nkoma ankra ko nyuma no omo no ntumi because outside se wo kwa me sure se obi a obekwa outside wo konya aban adwuma ye e individual se na eme ni pa adwuma ye what I say ha nti wankasa wo utumi create adwuma bi na wankasa wo ya ebeboa wo
o ofanda bi esa no okwanyo afo amla no seko fe wanu ya school pi no yin papers kan bi no apply for ntumo ketume fi ready anya atwabu no batuni o sani bo omi oyin no ato ntumo le pi o sani omi oyin bo ato ne na ntumo bi ne no chu kele later ke achebwe keke oti ne ke in the school na ya apply for ntumo nako ya ka say ne ntumo ben lecture change mi no ntumo sila chekomi ka to bro chen ya shi yani yo enyami ya ka shi am feel it ya ka shi
Iwo mo fane bra selasi fane mi ni nga wo fi oyo aha you ten na ma meke amesumo na ameka ameni ba amba achuni na nchumo ko shibaja amla lo no mi ni nga wo fi okoyo aha ne kegbe meni
nga wo fi ni yo aha ne kegbe meni na ya gashi me fi amoni ke eme ni amla lo achele dani ya kasi nchumo bele e waste time wa mente sanu bo force we je fen ko wana backup samu nche bo o force we ko ni bo o tawo na nchumo no nchumo le pi MPC poke mi po ya wo nchumo mi ni akaso nchumo pi e wo ka me mo fe amoni e meni ke meni government achele dan akaso nchumo le e waste time ya yin keke edo nuko ya no ale ta fa che ba fo ya na ngalu na wu ba fo ba kwe amba school e wo npa mi fa mo fe amoni e meni government achele e ka waste time kra eto ntumo ko le chu ko ni wani na income ko ni lo ke kwe family
ke amegbe school na sana me na me na ntumo fiu na mechu ya go nyon ko yin oyin afun amla lu enu ko yin fun enu ni bi aja be ogbe eshi sike bode ncho famo na ji yin kete yin keke onu fi anu ete yin abu nga wo fiu ni yo an ke me ne gbegbe school na me ba na ke bi ana oba ko me result aba wo ye egbe ni o atawo nuchumo piye no ko okule ekome for example stores ana atamo na epo ko ata na kenyongbo oba na ko fiu nuchumo piye cleaning na epo ba nyoka achu na ka nuchumo fiu no ke kwe o nu ele dabi wa nyo chu na ka nuchumo fiu ni bo ke bua no ko fiu na e ga jo nyoka o me government amla lo na de ma abo nu chumo no ochu aka me pia te school gbegbe na nu chumo obo ye egbe ni moko na ete aka se nu chumo she yin shika one ke nu chumo ne nu chumo ne poko te no aka se fio we ona no ko fio nyongbo ape 2 months 3 months pay wanyo ka aka se ke nchu efe moji o ni pe ji o nu chumo pi ke nu ni carpenter electricals ke ni bi ne nu chumo pi e no ba nani o ba chu o ke you ten ke mi nga o ni pa meji ami ye egbe na mi yo ma mi no ata o ke mo ko store na ata moji o nu chumo pi e ndi na nu chumo pi e ni bo ko te o amu ko mi e ba wa
esa ke ka megbe school na o ka application ba ya o ba fe follow up ko o fe follow up no kwa ni agbene ehin o ba pomode no ta wo ni na ni chumo ke me sinji o me kome ya ni ne ke abobo ya trot ke ni bi ne o ba nye moko ye te gbe school na ye mate e ka say driving moko ye gbe school na ehin trot ele left and right ewo ele no ni mi ne yo ne ke hin trot esa ne obla hin bi amebo ame mo de esa na meta ashi na kan o ta shi na kan na o mami alebo so ina wa je ni papa ni ona o mami ba alebo be no ba na wo awo moko bi ho ne ke bi na ehu e ba kama mi e no ele ebile ele na bile je ni chumo papa ni ewo obla hin bi e mo ame bi wie mo ke chon mo ni ne na ni chumo ebu baba o ni sa na amechu na me ke wa amenyeme de nche eja ke o mami e je ekabo eni na she he ko e ba nye gbo shibo anytime ni bo oni chumo no ochun otashia agbele ko mami gbo shibo to ba fe ten oni ba fe mobo ko okwe na yeju o ba ju
anti baba to be no yue ne mini nga wo fi oko oyo aha obla yin ka obla ye na ma metashin akeke
obla yin ka obla ye nga wo ni yo ha meji ke ogbe school na obanye ke yo jibo e ni ho mo pi no chonko bulenche o chibanku lo ho komi alo mo ko eho no ya ji no ho efite onokonoko ni bonu ehun esa no bomode to mo bani joyin ni nke mesin fita ni bi pi ni bo ba anya ochu no ngba wa eke ha mami ejo eke fe fo
The government have done everything possible in the sense that we have free education now and then we have access to education. So there are jobs as well. So if in case we have completed our secondary level of education, that is why we went to school. So we should write an application and then go and seek for a job. And I believe God on our side, we can be able to get a job. Yes.
Okay, so what advice do you have for the youth, those who they've put all their trust and hopes in the government for them to provide jobs for them? What advice do you have for this youth?
No. I don't think we should depend on the government because the government have done everything possible to provide whatever thing he has to do for us. So this is a state whereby we also have to do our best because we are the next generation. We can't depend on the government to provide us a job. Yes, because we can come out, we have the skills. The youth of this generation have the skills. It's not only about we working, applying for job. We can do some technical things and then bring out some money for us. Yeah, we can do something. There is something God has given to every youth on this planet Earth. If only we are going to go down deep within ourselves, we can be able to bring out our God-given talent that will put food on our table. Yes.
No, they shouldn't depend on government for job because the government is a mere man. He can fail you if you put your hopes in him. But if you hope in God, I believe with the wisdom of God, you can create your own job or your own business where you start something. Because there are lots of people outside who have not gotten any job to do. And depending on your government, we are many. So everybody cannot depend on government. It's best you do your own, you create your own job for your own self.
Yeah. Okay, so what advice will you give to the youth out there, those who are depending on the government? For them, they said, if the government doesn't provide anything, I'll just be at home. I'm waiting on the government. So what advice do you have for this youth?
Advice I have for them is that I want to tell them they should depend on God and ask God to give them the wisdom to create their own job or create their own business that they can earn something. Because depending on man, I don't believe it will work. Because they are men, then they are failing us every day, and you being like you're depending on them, I don't think it will help. But rather, as we are youth and we are coming up, we should depend on God and know what we want to do, and then we start something. I believe by God's grace it will help and it will flourish.
Although I am indifferent whether to say yes or no, this time I'll go for no. And it is evident that the youth cannot depend on government for work or employment, because I don't want to mention factors that cause the hindrance of them getting employment into the government sector. Because if we are to employ, let's take policemen for example, if we are to employ policemen, definitely we cannot employ about 32,000 policemen, but we'll be employing about 5,000 policemen. That means not everybody can depend on police enlistment. All right, so I would go for no, because everybody has an inner quality. It's not about schooling alone. Everybody has an inner schooling, or everybody has an inner quality that makes him, that boosts the confidence to do something for themselves. All right, so it's not just about schooling, although it is perfect that you school and then you use your ideas, your technologies, whatever you've acquired internally and then externally. All right, you use it to produce something. It is perfect that you work in a field that in a field of your program. All right, the program that you studied at school. But as I said earlier, everybody has an inner quality. You may have done pharmacy at school, but you have an inner quality that makes you viable at entrepreneurship, probably dealing in poultry. All right, so if I go for no, that is my idea. We shouldn't depend solely, although we should apply for jobs, we shouldn't depend solely on the government for employment, but rather work to add more value to ourselves. That is what I would say for.
Okay, so Brother Benjamin, what advice will you give to the youth out there, those who are depending mostly on the government for jobs? What advice do you have for those youths?
As I mentioned earlier, it is good that they apply for employment, they seek for job opportunities in the government sector. All right, but then it shouldn't be solely dependent on the government sector. They should work and then build something for themselves. They have an inner quality. So my advice is that they should build themselves, add more value to themselves. They should learn more. If someone can go into entrepreneurship, fine, the person can do it. Anything at all that can help you generate income, because if you are to work in the government sector, you are looking for employment, and then the second thing is you are working for income, but you can also generate something for yourself that can produce the same income for you. That is my advice.
Sad no miss so yeah chema jesu kakra. It's say sa adwen no mentality no e wo ye awofo emu de daada. Say we say we varsity. Now awofo ene abusanfo ehwe say budim some short time no we now se coat na wa bota na wo de o kaaba na what's your name inti engineer be anka was a overall now work field na ne was no or the akoye man am for sabaso na obotai. So in it's a abusanfo no ehun sa as if school na akoye no in faso amaso inti e was aban so or create environment we say enye abandwa de asa ebi no nti say oye school abanhwe say mu ye 5 mu ye 10 bia mu de mo plan bi ko business plan bi ko say banks a yenhwe na say loan bi na ebe mama na mu de start bibia. I think it will be better because obi a pa ban my obi a pa ban my o show back oko o university pa no answer when o ya ban na ban no so and also universities and Ghana me sample Cape Coast University and then Legon. And it was be and every year they are turning out graduates. And you know, Edmund Wanifa. Oh, you know, I also have a share or not some misunderstanding. So graduates say one by every year, one bedding, a day, and I want one more every year. I did also have a bank or share because only create jobs for all of them. Yes, create but enabling environmental or the nipa thing graduates. Because them even in Gopobis or Wamati unemployed graduates association. It is ridiculous. No, unemployed. Or university area was the unemployed association. So the say one year thing. Now one to me a transit, a formulating business plan. BB I will make my ya. Be a one representative demand. You know, financial institutions be a one be na I think I borrow with some soft loans be.
So this is where we draw our curtains on today's episode. I am your host, Sandy. See you same time next week. Stay safe and bye-bye.